are everywhere. You simply cannot log in without seeing them somewhere. They're either on sale in whatever land you're in, on someone's trade list, or following their owner around. It's nearly impossible to find a jammer without a pet. Click on someone's profile. Do they have a pet? Yep. Do they have a pet? Yep. Do they have a pet? This is getting really repetitive. Yes, they do. Seriously, I challenge you. Try to find someone on Animal Jam without a pet that isn't a brand new jammer, okay? It's nearly impossible. It can be seen as an extension of your own character. You can dress them, put exclusive items on them, and even give them cool effects that take hours to attain. Each pet has the possibility for tons of different combinations. You can customize their eyes, their fur, their markings, their color, and more. They can be so unique. And now with the adoption certificate feature, you can even identify individual pets, even if they look the exact same. It gives a personality to each and every one. No two are the same. It even makes the pets scam and hack proof to some extent, because if you're scammed or hacked out of a pet, you are able to track down that exact pet. And people can't pretend not to have a certain pet because it is visible on their profile. Whereas if you're scammed out of a black long, you can't actually prove that that person has your black long. So with all that being said, how come pets aren't rare? If everyone has a desire to own them, and they're so unique, and they're even hack and scam proof, why isn't this hamster I just made ultra rare? Well, there's a very simple answer to that, and it's because they're available to buy all the time. Just like a necklace or wings aren't ultra rare, it's the same thing with pets. You can buy them all the time, so what makes them special? Nothing really. But there are a select few pets that are a cut above the rest. Ones that are ultra rare. And it's all due to two factors. First of all, slap a rare sign on it and it's automatically 10 times better than anything else. Second step, have a limited amount of them, and that's very important. For some rare pets, it all depends on how many adopt-a-pets you have redeemed. Technically, there's no limit to the amount that could be made in the game. That's why ultimately fireflies and similar pets such as the grasshopper and the ladybug are a flop. As long as you buy a lot of adopt-a-pets, you are guaranteed to get those exclusive pets. And this is also why pets such as the seal, which I'm about to deep dive into, are viewed as incredibly rare. There are a limited amount of them, which creates a market of demand with not enough supply to meet the demand, and not everyone can have one, so the rarity builds up. So first, let's get a history on these guys. How did they come to be and when were my first two questions that I wanted to answer, because it feels like I just learned about pet seals yesterday, and now they're suddenly the talk of the town, or something everyone is craving. It's like spiked collars all over again, except they can't be released in adventures. Burn, Animal Jam. That was a burn. And even though it was totally a good burn, it's also a really good point here. Pets have never been a prize in adventure, so that takes a huge worry off of the backs of all these pet collectors. Anyway, the history. So seals came about in December of 2016 when the creation of a line of Jazzwares toys, the Animal Jam Adopt-a-Pets, were released. Specifically, the treasure chests. And more specifically, if you got Pet 1-112, a silver snake called Shimmerway, you would get a code along with it redeemable for a pet seal. Upon reading this on the AJ Wiki, I immediately had to shuffle through all of my old adopt-a-pets, but unfortunately I had no luck. I had never gotten Shimmerway and forgotten to redeem the code, though I really hoped I did. Real sad moment for me. Moving right along, pet seals are probably one of the best, if not the #1 best rare pet to own for two very good reasons. First of all, they are adorable, look at them, and secondly, they can go on land and underwater, so wherever you are, it's the best of both worlds. You want to be cool underwater? Here's your pet seal. You want to be cool on land? Here's your pet seal. Not a lot of Animal Jam pets can actually go underwater and on land. I believe it's the penguin, the turtle, the seal, the otter, and I think those might be the only 4. So it's actually a pretty unique feature to have. But there's also a hidden third reason. Practically anyone who is slightly rare can get one. And I know, I said that seals are ultra rare. How could someone who's slightly rare get one? Well, depending on the seal, they could be worth more than 20 black long spiked collars, but they could also be as little as 3. This makes seals even more desirable because people with only a few rares could collect them, but they could also be a fun thing for people with many rares to collect. They're accessible to everyone. And the reason why is all because of the different features they can have. Within the world of seals, some are incredibly rare, and some just aren't. It's all due to the color and the features of the individual seal, so let's go ahead and check that out. There's a lovely Instagram account called Pet Seals, which talks all about, you guessed it, pet seals. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using their seal rarity guide to help you understand what different seals are worth. Of course, these are just estimates. It also largely depends on who you're asking. Everyone has their preferences. For me, I love black, white, blue, and pastel pink seals, though those are not the rarest colors. In fact, they're some of the least rare colors. I wouldn't really like an orange or a yellow seal as much as I would a blue or a pink seal. So a lot of this is just largely preference. But anyway, let's start out with the colors. As I said, blue, pink, and purple seals are relatively common. Those colors go for the least amount of rares. At the very least, they could go as little as 2.5 black long spiked collars. At most, they could be worth about 14. The middle ground colors are black and white. At the least, they're worth around 3 black longs, but at most, they could be worth about 19. That's crazy. And lastly, are you ready to hear this, folks? Okay, the rarest colors are red, orange, yellow, and green. These colors could go for as little as 6 black longs. I don't even know why I just said as little as, because 6 black long spiked collars is still a lot of black long spiked collars, so not as little as, but anyway, they could also go for over 30 black long spiked collars. That is insanely rare. Crazy. What? That is like one of the rarest items. So now you see why I say they're totally accessible to anyone. You could get a seal worth 2.5 black long spiked collars or one that's worth over 30. Since there is so much variation with seals, with the lowest of the low going for 2.5 black long spiked collars and the highest of the high going for over 30, let's talk about the features and what they can do to its worth, because this is truly what could make or break the seal. Even a seal with really rare colors, red, orange, yellow, and green, they could go for as little as 6 black long spiked collars. But if they have all the correct features, that could be worth over 30. So that's a huge gap. It's because the features truly determine the worth of the seal. So let's go ahead and talk about the eyeballs. Seals with eyelash eyes are typically undesirable, so it can drop their worth because nobody wants a girl pet. I don't know why, but nobody wants her. I'm sorry, lady. You're not wanted here. We love you, but you're not wanted here. The rest of the eyes are similar in worth, except the angry eyes and the little circly eyes. These two eyes can heighten a seal's worth. The hair on the top of a seal's head is pretty much just preference. There's no real rarest hair versus least rare hair, and mouths are up next. The bracket mouth, much like the eyelashes, is undesirable and can drop a seal's worth. The tongue out and the smile mouth are just like the eyes in the fact that they're all very similar in worth. There's no crazy difference in them, but the big smile mouth may increase a seal's worth. Bonus thing, if a seal has whiskers, it may be worth a little bit more. And lastly, the coat pattern. This is largely preference, as most of these features are, but the eyebrow pattern raises the worth considerably. So get you a seal with eyebrows. All that being said, the rarest seal on Animal Jam would look a little something like this. So how did this person get so lucky? How did they get the one seal with all of the amazing features and none of the bad? Well, they didn't just luck out. They purposely created the rarest combination of features for the seal. Now, how could they do that? If seals came out in 2016, how did they predict what the rarest type of seal would look like? You see, not all of the seal codes have actually been redeemed yet. That leaves just a few left, and now that the seal rarity system has been sorted out, whoever gets the last few codes can rig it in their favor by purposely creating an amazing seal. Now you probably want a seal, right? You want to have the experience of the awesomeness of having something worth 30 black long collars. And here's the thing, it can totally happen. You can still get a seal, and you don't even have to trade for one on Animal Jam to get it. There are tons, and I mean tons, of treasure chest adopt-a-pets on sale on eBay. But for the people who put up those listings, isn't that technically selling rares? It's really interesting, honestly. I've been going back and forth with this question in my head for a long time. There's no real black and white answer. So please, tell me in the comment section what you think about that, because that's one question that came up in my research, and I'm like, I honestly don't know how to answer this. Honestly, it's a really tricky one. On one hand, I completely disagree with people who do it this way, but then again, they aren't buying rares, they're buying the possibility of rares. However, what if they know they're purchasing Shimmerway? What if someone had opened the box, seen the little snake, and said, yep, this one's a Shimmerway, and sold it for like 50 bucks on eBay? Is it buying or selling rares then? Anyway, we could debate that all night long, and please do in the comment section put your opinion on it, because I want to talk to people about this. Like, it has been in my brain since I found this out. Is it technically selling rares? Is it not? I would love to hear your opinion and talk to you guys about it, because I'm freaking out here. But for now, we have to move on to the last section of the video, the final question that I wanted to answer in my research. And I want to preface this by saying that I am a Jambassador, so I do have some connections. So this number is 100% correct. straight from an AJHQ employee, which came from another AJHQ employee. My question was, how many pet seals are there out there? I was expecting an answer somewhere in the range like a few thousand. That would make sense. But that number doesn't get any smaller. They aren't even rarer than I thought. No. There aren't a few thousand, or 5,000, or 10,000. There are 15,000 seal codes that were produced with Shimmerway. I don't know about you, but to me, that seems like an astronomical number. That sounds like so many seals that they cease to be rare any longer. However, when I was told how many codes exist, I was also told how many seals have been redeemed so far. Only about 3,500. That's how many codes I thought were released in the first place. That still leaves 11,500 seals left to be redeemed. Now, I'm not a mathematician, I hardly passed math class, but I do think I am slightly smart. 3,500 is about 23% of 15,000, and I'm not lying about that. You can look it up on Google, because that's what I did, because I'm only slightly smart. Remember that, I'm only slightly smart. Anyway, that means 77% of seals have left to be redeemed. That means that the current rarity level of all seals could drop as much as 77% if all of the seal codes are redeemed. So if all seals are created, we are looking at a gigantic rarity drop. And I'm not saying this to try and sabotage anyone or hurt anyone's feelings, because I even have 3 seals of my own. They're literally the background for my laptop. Like, I love them. I love my seals very, very much. I was on a journey to get more, actually, and with this video, I hope to bring some more jammers into the pet seal community, but what I discovered during my research isn't something that I can keep to myself. Like, I pondered it for a while and I'm like, should I tell people how many are actually out there? Should I reveal the fact that they're not as rare as everyone is making it seem? That they're not really as rare as 30 black long spiked collars? Trust me, I wanted to keep that information to myself because I was like, I don't want my seals to get any less rare. Like, I traded a lot for these guys. I think. I don't really remember. I have a really short-term memory, but I'm pretty sure I traded quite a bit for them. So pretty much, if you're following me here, if the rarity of seals drops by 77%, then the rarest seal right now could drop in worth by 23 black longs and only be worth about 7. It's definitely not as crazy rare as everyone's thinking. And that is with the seal type that is absolutely the most rare out of all of the seals, with all of the perfect features. Imagine what the rarity will be like with seals that are currently worth like 2.5 black long spiked collars, or if they're just worth around 5, or pretty much any number besides 30. They'll be worth almost nothing. Obviously, this drop in rarity isn't happening at the snap of my fingers, or AJHQ's, or whoever else's. But anyway, the drop is inevitable. And that means that every second that ticks by, seals are getting less and less and less rare. And same with all the other adopt-a-pet pets out there. As much as I really wanted this to be the cure to the broken rare system, it unfortunately kind of just ruins it further. As much as it would be super, super cool to have a pet worth 30 or more black long spiked collars, it's a fleeting fantasy. And that is Pet Seals Exposed.